Hello YouTube, Unknown Prepper here today, coming to you from my garage to go over some solar generators. So first of all, I just want to say that I think solar generators are an excellent addition to your prepping equipment. I have two different ones here to kind of go over and compare. One is a Jackery Explorer 300 series, pretty popular one. This is kind of a name brand main solar generator that you'll see all over Amazon. And then I also have kind of like a Chinese knockoff, a JYE power station. They both have different features, and I just kind of wanted to show them real quick. This isn't an advertisement for either of them. These are two that I just, there was a sale on the Jackery, so I picked up the Jackery, and then there was also a sale on the JYE at the same time, so I purchased both of them so I can kind of compare what a name brand one will do versus a kind of a cheaper knockoff one. And there are things that I like about both of them, so I just wanted to go over it real quick. First, we'll start with the Jackery Explorer 300 series. It comes with a little display. Does AC and DC power. You can charge things off of a solar panel, hence the solar generator name. It has two USB ports, one USB-C port, and then two 110-volt regular house-style outlets. Comes with a carrying handle, a little display screen that tells you the battery percentage, the input in watts, and the output in watts. Moving over to the JYE, it's pretty comparable, has the same thing. I'm just going to hit all the buttons here. It has basically the same setup. My apologies, I had to hit the start button first. So, it has basically the same setup as the Jackery. It reads the AC output and input. I'm sorry, this is the output for both of them. But it has pretty much the same features. You have one 110-volt outlet, which is a little bit different. Has three USB entrances versus the two on the Jackery, and it has USB Type-C, and it has two DC outputs, which the Jackery does not have, but I don't really see them being as useful. Full disclosure, I did put something on both of these this morning to discharge them a little bit so I could show charging with the solar panel. So the Jackery is at 96% and the JYE is at 80%. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and hook up a bunch of random stuff to both generators so you can get an idea of what each little thing that I'm going to plug in draws, and then I'll hook them up to the solar panels, and you can see how a solar panel will charge these back up even while I have, 5 different things plugged into each of them. So let me get some stuff set up first. Okay, so now I have a couple of things hooked up to each power station. On the left-hand side, I have a fan that's not, it's plugged in but not turned on yet. We have a radio that's charging, a GoPro battery, and we are drawing 16 watts. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick that up, but we are drawing 16 watts right now. That's just from the charger for the, like I said, the walkie-talkie and the GoPro battery. I'm going to turn the fan onto the lowest setting, which is 1. We can see how much we're drawing now. Now we're drawing 30 watts, 31 watts. We'll go to level 2. Drawing 53 watts. We'll go to level 3. So level 3, with everything plugged in, we're on 57 watts, and that's with charging the walkie-talkie and the GoPro battery at the same time as running a full-size box fan on the highest level. We're drawing about 70 watts. You can see that the power station is handling it just fine. Coming over to the JYE, we have we have a little lamp plugged in here. We have and then 2 flashlights plugged in. Now this is the downside to the JYE versus the Jackery, is I wanted to charge my little speaker at the same time, which draws about another 13 watts, but unfortunately I couldn't plug it in because it's a wall type charger and I didn't have any more room for that. But there are some advantages that this little JYE charger, solar generator does have over the the Jackery. It does have wireless charging on the top, which I just put my phone on there, and it is kind of weird. Sometimes you do have a hard time getting it to actually charge the phone. It seems like it has to be set in like the perfect spot, and now you can see it is charging. So that's one thing that I thought was cool. You don't have to take up a USB spot. You can just do the wireless charging on the top. But overall, I would say as far as the plugs and stuff, the Jackery just seems to be a better setup. But so now what I'll do is I'm going to just go ahead and unplug all this, and then I'm going to plug the solar panels into both of them and show what type of watts you can bring in with the solar panel, and how you can charge all this stuff and charge the Jackery or the other power station at the same time, and why these are so popular now. Okay, so you can see I have my solar panel set up here. This is a 120 watt array on the right hand side, and then I have a 100 watt system on the left hand side. These are both by two different companies. I believe the left is EcoWorthy and then the right is PowerX. They both just happen to have a sale on them, so I got two different ones just to kind of see how they would both handle the different conditions. So today we have a kind of partially sunny day. From the 100 watt solar panel, looks like we are drawing 27 watts. So not the best, but we don't have direct sunlight either. The sun is kind of behind the clouds right now. And then on the 120 watt solar panel, we're pulling 86 watts, which is much better. Now I also noticed that the Jackery tends to handle the input from the solar panels better. So what I'm also going to do is kind of give them 2 or 3 minutes to just kind of do their thing, and then I'm going to switch the solar panels and hook up the smaller array to the Jackery and then the larger array to the JYE, so we can see if there's a difference in how it's taking the power in. Okay, so I have switched the solar panels up. As you can see, the smaller 100 watt panel is now going to the Jackery, and it's reading 70 watts, which I think is actually 71 now, which I think is actually really good for a 100 watt solar panel, being that it's kind of like a partially sunny day out. It's March. It's not the middle of the summer where the sun is extremely bright and hot. And then on the other side, we've hooked up the 120 watt panel to the JYE, and it's still only reading 27 watts, which I think is just going to be the maximum that the station allows to charge at a time, which is kind of disappointing. Again, you kind of get what you pay for with some of these power stations. Not that this one is a bad one, but so far from what I've seen, the Jackery just seems to be worth the extra like $100. It's just all around the features are better. But at the same time, if you didn't have the money and you just wanted something to prepare and have a power station, this is not a bad option. It's just not as good as the Jackery. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with both solar panels as well. Like I said, the smaller 100 watt station is drawing anywhere from 58 to 70 watts, depending on if the sun dips behind the clouds, which I think is pretty impressive. And then the larger 120 watt array was drawing even over that at some points. I just plugged it back in, and now of course the sun is going behind the clouds, but you could see 26, we're still even drawing 26 watts with the sun behind the clouds. So I think overall it's pretty impressive. If anything, these things, even the cheaper ones, have proved to me that they're pretty beneficial to have. You can run a lot of small chargers, you could charge flashlights, batteries, radios, you can run fans, and so now you can see we're up to 96 watts, 97 watts on the 120 watt panel. So really what this has proved to me is you can charge all your batteries and everything during the day, charge the Jackery system as a whole, because like I said, if you're even some of the bigger stuff, when you're running it with the solar panels, you can charge the Jackery and charge your other equipment at the same time, and then at night when the sun goes down, you can still run, you know, lamps and fans and all kinds of stuff at night without the sun, and then as soon as the sun comes out again the next day, you could just charge it right back up. Overall, like I said, I think I would probably choose the Jackery over this knockoff. I think the Jackery is just worth the extra money, and I would probably spend the extra money to buy the larger solar panel array over the smaller one. Not that the smaller panel is bad. The bigger one just obviously draws in more power and allows you to charge up the Jackery faster and you know, have more of a charge for later at night if you're in a situation where maybe the sun wasn't going to come out tomorrow and you needed a better charge on the system as a whole. Drop down what you guys think below. Let me know what station you have, as far as like a power station, what solar panel setup you have, and if you like it or if you are looking to get something different. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.